Question. Member from Toronto Danforth.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, my question to the Minister of Energy. Earlier this week, the Environmental Commissioner said that conservation was Ontario's cheapest energy option. And she's right. But OPG is proceeding with an expensive nuclear refurbishment plan that will add over $5 per month to our electricity bills on top of everything else that's coming at us. And that's if these nuclear projects come in on budget. Speaker, we know nuclear projects never come in on budget. When Ontario already has a massive energy surplus, adding billions to our electricity bills, why didn't the minister hold back on costly nuclear projects so Ontarians can finally be rewarded, not punished, for their conservation efforts?
Question. Thank you. Minister of Energy.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to quote from the Commissioner's report to begin with. Quote, Ontario has focused on conserving electricity and natural gas via conservation programs delivered by electric and natural gas utilities and funded by their customers. Both gas and electricity conservation programs have consistently proven to be cost-effective. On the whole, Ontario's investments in electric and natural gas conservation have made sense. That's a quote from the Environment Commissioner, Mr. Speaker. And the member will know that the projections, which have been validated by third parties, Mr. Speaker, shows that the cost of electricity coming from our nuclear generation after the refurbishment, Mr. Speaker, will be at 7.7 cents per kilowatt hour. That is a bargain for the public, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Well, Speaker, just to note, conservation is a lot cheaper than that number. Conservation has worked. Conservation has worked in Ontario. We use less electricity to do more. But in Ontario, when we use less, we get to pay more. This is because the government keeps signing new contracts for even more electricity that we don't need. Ontarians have to pay for this electricity whether we use it or not. Ontario now has an electricity surplus far greater than the total output of Pickering. Instead of driving up our electricity bills even further, why won't the minister allow our conservation programs to do what they're supposed to do, reduce energy use and lower our hydro bills?
Thank you. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, again, a quote from the Environment Commissioner. Both gas and electricity conservation programs have consistently proven to be cost-effective when measured by appropriate post-implementation cost-effective tests, Mr. Speaker. That's an independent assessment of our conservation program, Mr. Speaker. And what the member will not talk about is the fact that we have 60% of our generation coming from nuclear. Projecting in the future, Mr. Speaker, it will be 50% and is 100% emissions-free, Mr. Speaker. We're on the right page on this file, Mr. Speaker, and I don't accept the criticism of the critic.
Thank you. Your question.